Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another reaction video for today. And well, IGN, they're back at it again. I watched the Silent Hill 2. Did that rhyme? IGN back at it. Anyway, I watched the Silent Hill 2 remake video that they did for We Played or whatever. I guess that's their series. I don't know. We Played It. That's a good title. That's a good name of a series. We Played It. Very clever. But they did Silent Hill 2 remake, and they made it sound very good, and I was more excited because of it. And now we got Silent Hill F, which I honestly, after Silent Hill 2, I know how quick we are to forget that that Konami allowed Silent Hill Ascension and Silent Hill the short message to come out. Short message I actually enjoyed, but I know a lot of people did not. So I thought it was fine. It was like a 7, maybe a little lower, maybe a 6, but it was still not terrible. Ascension, I still haven't finished. Whoops. I watched all those except for like literally the last I think 3-4 episodes. It was about to wrap up. I just didn't watch it. No one was watching the reactions, which is unsurprising. But no one was watching the actual show. Why the fuck would they watch the reactions? But I mean, I had a fun time shitting on it. That was fun. Anyway, but yeah, so we have Silent Hill 2 remake now, and now we have this, which this looks great. You know, legitimately, so far everything I've seen about this looks awesome. So, and it's coming out very soon, in like a little over a month. I got my pre-order in, so I better get my steelbook. Anyway, because if you don't know, GameStop's giving out steelbooks. Grotesque looking fuckers too. I love that. Anyway, let's go. 3, 2, 1, play. I want a really good English dub
As
where
someone
it sounds
who
like an
loved
anime.
Uber Team's 2024 remake of Silent Hill 2, I'm happy to report that while being developed by an entirely different developer, Silent Hill F boasts that same level of quality and polish.
Nice. Because I was a little worried because of the developers. They made that last Resident Evil multiplayer game. I mean, they probably tried their best with that.
From story to world building, from graphics to combat and exploration, Taiwan-based developer Neobards has created an experience that meets the high bar set by the Polish developer, albeit in a drastically different setting.
I wonder if you get out of the Torii Gate path, do you get like attacked or something? This is like you have to stay in here.
As I started walking the dense yet deserted streets of Ebiscalca, it was immediately apparent just how detailed and well realized this fictional remote town in the mountains of rural Japan in the 60s is.
It does look very Silent Hill 2 remake.
With an immersive over-the-shoulder view and no UI on screen during exploration, Silent Hill F is a game that tells a convincing story through its visuals. Ebiscalca is undoubtedly one of the most impressive contemporary Japanese townscapes I've ever seen in a video game, and that comes from someone who has lived in Japan for the majority of his life and loves games like Shenmue, Persona, and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Hell yeah. Ooh,
one of the few minor issues I had
with
the
Ghostwire
Silent Hill 2 remake was that the majority of its playtime is spent inside buildings and facilities. While these functioned as
I mean, that's Silent Hill 2 original, too.
well-designed dungeons packed with horrifying enemies.
I guess you could argue they should have fixed that, but I don't think it needed to be fixed in Silent Hill 2. I think the amount of time you stay outside of the buildings is perfect in the original Silent Hill 2. To be fair, though, remake I never finished it. Remake is definitely longer, so maybe you could argue that, you know, if it's longer, we should stay outside more. So, yeah, fair enough.
Intricate puzzles to solve. The increase in volume compared to the 2001 original made it feel like exploration of the actual town of Silent Hill was limited.
Okay, I guess I could just let him finish.
And so, I was pleasantly surprised that the vast majority of my playtime with Silent Hill F was spent exploring Ebiscalca, which oozes with atmosphere. Files and other documents scattered throughout the town add context to Ebiscalca, which flourished as a mine town during its heyday. Now it has become a largely forgotten village, and its people are stuck in old ways, such as favouring traditional healthcare methods over modern medical science, and being overly devout to the Shinto deity Inari. The context of Ebiscalca and its people immediately feel like they are an integral part of Silent Hill F's cohesive story, which made me eager to go off
the also feels very Silent Hill. It's just the way you describe that.
beaten path and obtain every hidden file. The game starts after protagonist Hinako, a female high school student, runs away from home after being scolded by her drunk father. Walking the empty streets of Ebiscalca, heading to the local candy store to meet up with Hinako's fellow high school friends, feels like an authored walking simulator reminiscent of games like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Of course,
it doesn't take long until Hinako and her friends discover something is wrong in town. And before you know it, Hinako is holding an iron pipe in her hands, an iconic weapon of the series.
Hell yeah.
Ebiscalca then gradually proves to be not just suited for a
Iconic.
captivated walking simulator experience,
Oh, shit.
but also the perfect setting for a horror game, as its narrow alleys and
Now you're running through the places you just walk through. Okay.
staircases are ideal to hide enemies behind corners,
Oh no!
while also
That
functioning
was in the trailer.
as a maze for the player to get lost.
Run! Hurry up!
In some
very
instances,
nice.
doors left ajar and open windows invite Hinako inside traditional tatami-floored houses, where she will have to solve simple puzzles in order to make her way through to the next area. These puzzles play out in an unconventional way. One puzzle, for example, had me obtain keys to a locked door, but there was nothing noteworthy inside. Then, as I went back to the corridor, another door suddenly swung open, which gave me the chills. Silent Hill F's scenario
He said that. It gave me the chills.
writer, Yukishi07, sees Japanese horror as a subgenre that doesn't so much rely on threats to the protagonist's life, but rather makes you feel uncomfortable by creating situations.
So I
that
heard
feel
about
off.
the, what is it, Higurashi When They Cry, or the series he does. Oh, bloody.
When you think about it, Silent Hill is a series known
Yucky.
for just that.
Is that her?
While there isn't a lack of life-threatening encounters, some of this series' most uncomfortable moments are in conversations with its outright weird
the
characters. In Silent Hill F, Hinako and her friends are trying to find a way to escape the haunted town of Ebiscalca. Interactions with these friends seem normal at first, but
They also got a very Junji Ito vibe to it.
then
for
suddenly
sure.
they say something or do something
From the
that catches
limited
you off
amount
guard.
of Junji Ito stuff I've embraced. That's a good
Also,
way
in
to
typical
word
Silent
it.
Hill fashion, puzzles often reveal something about Hinako herself or the world she inhabits. A puzzle on a misty rice field has you examine scarecrows in order to learn the direction you should be heading,
Okay.
which is connected to a childhood trauma of Hinako getting lost and being afraid of the scarecrows. During my playthrough, puzzles never felt too
Relatable.
difficult. Hints provided
Oh,
by
hey, what's
files
up?
you obtain never make the solution too
Yeah,
obvious,
don't move
while
and
still
creep
giving
me
the
out,
player an
please.
idea of what they have to do. Silent Hill F has difficulty
What a
settings for both its
surprise.
combat and puzzles, and while Konami advised me to play on story mode for both, I stubbornly chose normal mode as I wanted to take on a challenge.
Okay.
While the difficulty of the puzzles never
So they say you should do story mode? Alright, there you go. That's my excuse to play on easy mode, guys. There you go. That's my excuse. Konami said I have to. So I didn't wanna, but that's what Konami says. So.
me, combat proved to be a bit more demanding. Silent Hill F's combat relies entirely on melee attacks. Hinako can obtain all sorts of weapons ranging from iron pipes to kitchen
Nice.
knives and baseball bats, but no guns come into play. With some exceptions, these weapons are not obtained through story
what the
beats,
fuck is
but are
this?
scattered throughout Silent Hill F's world
Nice
like other
dodge.
resources, and
Nice
Hinako
dodge.
can carry up to 3 weapons at a time.
Oh, cool.
As you wield iron pipes and stab at enemies with knives, you will notice that the game has weapon durability.
Oh, it
It's a
does?
nice touch that weapons that are about to break actually change in appearance, so expect to be holding a bent pipe or a broken bat. This also functions as a hint to the player, which Hinako will acknowledge by mentioning that she should fix it. Weapons can be fixed by using a repair kit, but these are so scarce that on many occasions you will have to say goodbye to your new favourite weapon. While weapon durability is often regarded as a burden in games, it works here.
It was in Silent Hill Downpour, was it? Or is it? Yeah, that's the one, right? That had the weapon durability.
As finding a new weapon and repair kits quickly becomes
lot of
an
horror
integral
games
part
have-
of the resource management that the survival horror genre is known for, especially since you won't be having to look for ammo this time around.
Yeah.
A clever system allows
Yeah,
you
it,
to
it makes sense, yeah, because, like, if you're not having a gun, then there has to be resource management of some sort. Yeah, so it makes sense. Yeah.
turn in your resources for an in-game currency at save points, which can be used to increase your stats or obtain new amulets that can be equipped to give you
You
certain
can
buffs.
increase your stats? I was expecting that in this game. Alright.
It means that if you are careful and don't waste your resources, leftovers can be turned into something useful, which feels like a
So,
great reward
so just run away from monsters all the time. Gotcha.
to a well-planned expedition. Combat
This would
itself
be a fun
has
game to see people, like, speedrun.
similar feel to Silent Hill 2's close-range combat.
feel like I've
you
seen
can
this
dodge
already.
enemy attacks with the dual sensor circle button, while you can activate light and heavy attacks with R1 and R2 respectively. Your limited reach and
I would really like to see the character Hinako, is that her name? Or Himiko. Which one was it? I would love to see, like, her get better and better at, like, swinging. That was a cool thing about Silent Hill 2 Remake. I didn't finish it, but people showed that, like, compare how James acts in the beginning to towards the end, and he's, like, way more confident in his swings and stuff. Which I really like. I like that. So
the attack motion.
I'm assuming they'll do that where she like in the beginning she's like and then later she's like one hand and fucking fucker. No, not one handed. She's doing suplexes on the fucking monsters. She choke slams a motherfucker through a table.
A realistic, weighty feel
She gets
to
the,
combat.
oh my gosh, she got the sledgehammer. Oh, I broke him in half. And Jim Ross is
Attacks
over there
especially are
commentating.
slow and need to be timed well, contributing to the feeling that Hinako is just a teenager with limited strength.
Yeah.
What sets Silent Hill F's combat apart from
Why does Silent Hill always do scary staircases, bro? What the fuck is wrong with them? I'm never gonna go up staircases again.
just a
And
teenager
no, that's not because I'm fat.
with limited strength? What sets Silent Hill F's combat apart from Silent Hill 2's more limited melee combat is the implementation of timed dodges and counterattacks. The latter in particular deals a lot of damage and is key in battle. Enemies briefly show a sign when a counterattack can be utilized, but unless you have trained your reflex skills by playing games of the likes of Sekiro, you will likely have a hard time reacting.
Stellar Blade.
That's where the focus mode comes in,
Imagine this game except it's the Stellar Blade girl instead. I wouldn't be scared.
which can be triggered by holding L2. Sadly, we don't have any footage of it, but when in focus mode, enemy signs for counterattacks appear for longer, while also charging up.
Okay, so they have like a, I don't want to say which time, but like it kind of slows down, I guess, maybe?
Focus mode comes in,
Focus mode.
which can be triggered by holding L2. Sadly, we don't have any footage of it, but when in focus mode, enemy signs for counterattacks appear for longer, while also
I'm assuming that means it slows down.
charging up a power attack that staggers an enemy. That means you might
Yeah, they don't have a lot of gameplay. We're going back to this fucking freako.
head into focus mode with the intention of going for a counterattack, but find yourself switching to a
Will
power
you calm
attack
down,
when
bro?
it charges before the enemy shows an opening.
Stab him in his ass.
Focus mode is tied to Hinako's
Yeah,
mental
fight that
energy
fucking
gauge,
thing?
which exists separately from her stamina and health bar.
You better run,
Interestingly,
girl.
the upper limit of her mental energy decreases when enemies do something that scares her, or when she is frightened by a certain event, connecting the gameplay to the story and Hinako's mental state. Luckily,
Oh.
there are items that can recover the upper limit of your mental energy gauge, but Hinako
Okay, I'm sorry. I was like blanking out because I was watching like the fucking gameplay footage. They have a fucking sanity gauge. Like it's eternal darkness.
stamina is limited too. When she runs out of stamina and mental energy, she can become so frightened and tired that she won't even be able to move for a while. Managing her energy resources, therefore, is key to survival.
Damn.
Fighting one regular enemy
yeah.
is fairly manageable, but when confronted by multiple enemies,
Run.
running away often felt like the best option, especially since enemies don't give experience points or drop resources.
Oh, they don't?
Combat was fun enough that I found myself actively engaging in combat even if there wasn't a real benefit to it, beyond
Cool.
being able to explore the environment more freely. While keeping combat engaging and complex, Silent Hill F does a great job in making the player feel weak. The game cleverly incorporates this by having what seems to be a boss battle at first actually play out as a sequence in which the player has to find an escape route. Another iconic element to the series is the existence of an alternate world, which is present in Silent Hill F as well.
Of course.
Hinako is occasionally transported to a different dimension that shows
This looks less scary. This looks kind of chill.
a more traditional Japan,
Yeah.
where a
So
mysterious
that's where you get these type of weapons, I assume.
masked figure guides her through the grounds of various shrines. Here, Hinako obtains traditional Japanese weapons such as the naginata, a pole weapon with a curved
Because I was
blade.
wondering, like in the trailer, you saw her hat down. I'm like, I'm not saying this village can't have those weapons. It'd just be very strange, I think.
On the end,
Saying it's
similar
gonna
to a
run
glaive
down
or
and stuff.
halberd that is known to be mostly
Especially if
used
it's just a mining town.
by women. Weapons that
second.
blade on the end, similar to a glaive or halberd that is known to be mostly used by women. Weapons that Hinako finds in this alternate world don't break, but Hinako won't be able to carry them over to Ebisugaoka.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Obviously, that would ruin the game if you could just bring them over and you have a infinite. I mean, you know, there's gonna be unlockable things after like New Game Plus or some shit where you get like, this doesn't break, you know, it's shit like that.
It was in this realm that I encountered the main boss of my playtime.
She's
which
so
proved
beautiful.
Much more difficult than I had anticipated.
Wow,
Even with my
gorgeous.
full understanding
Traitor?
of the combat mechanics
Traitor!
systems, its long reach, hard to predict attack patterns,
Remember that
and
fucking
multiple stages required significant trial and error. The boss took me nearly an hour to beat, but gradually learning how to take on the boss was a welcome challenge that
I'm about to say
never
that
felt unfair.
they're making it look
For
very
reference,
hard.
my colleague was playing on story mode and defeated the boss on his second try, but an acquaintance from another media outlet who was also playing on story mode didn't manage to defeat the boss at all and ran out of time. While he didn't
Yeah,
specifically mention the
embarrassing.
Souls-like genre, series producer Motoi Okamoto says
an
that
inspiration.
Silent Hill F's combat was inspired by the
I was getting that vibe with the way like it just felt like not that Dark Souls invented fucking like lock-on cameras, but it just like had a vibe of it.
popularity of more difficult action games. With multiple difficulty settings, Silent Hill F is by no means a Souls-like, but its boss design shares a similar learning curve that ultimately results in a great feeling of satisfaction when you beat it. The last part of my demo took place inside a school, which was essentially a dungeon similar to Silent Hill 2's aforementioned apartment buildings, hospitals,
So
museums,
yeah, her clothing gets more roughed up as it goes on.
hotels. Upon
Wonder how
entering
long
the
this
school,
game's gonna be.
Hinako obtains a map of the building, which the player will have to use to navigate their way through. Luckily, Hinako is just as diligent a note-taking enthusiast as Silent Hill 2's James, so whenever you learn that a door is locked or that there is a passage somewhere, it will be noted for you on the map. Inside the school, I had to solve a multitude of puzzles in order to find keys to reach different classrooms and floors while fighting and running away from enemies along the way.
Of course.
According to Okamoto, the average playtime for Silent Hill F will be about 12 or 13 hours, which should indicate that I've played through roughly 1/3 of the game. While I don't know how things will go from here, so far the game's balance between town exploration and interior facilities feels like an improvement over the Silent Hill 2 remake. While the first 5 hours of the game felt like they were structured linearly, Silent Hill F has multiple endings, like many other games in the series, including the famous UFO ending.
Yeah, it's gotta have a UFO ending. If it doesn't, my hands are tied. I can't play it. Sorry.
Silent Hill F was promising, to say the least. Its world building and story had me so intrigued that I still think back on my brief visit to Ebisugaoka almost a week later. Ebisugaoka just feels like the perfect fit for a psychological horror narrative, and all of Silent Hill F's systems and mechanics complement the setting. Series composer Akira Yamaoka's soundtrack also does a stellar job in making
we haven't heard like a lot of that
throughout.
We heard it in the trailer.
Silent Hill F seems to be a horror game that gets everything right. If, like me, the Silent Hill 2 remake was one of your favorite games of 2024, Silent Hill F has the potential to become a serious Game of the Year contender when it releases for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
I forgot it's coming to Xbox. 25th. I actually forgot it's coming to Xbox. While you're sleeping, then we're gonna abandon you, and then the fuck?
For more scary stuff, keep it locked on IGN.
Take it sleepy. Nothing bad will happen. Yeah, take it sleepy. I'll be fine. What? Sleeping? Yeah, sleeping's sick. Oh, he's talking about it. Yeah. It's gonna be one of those games where you hate every other fucking character because they all treat the main character like shit. That's probably what it's gonna be. Anyway, I mean, it looks great. It really does. It look. You know what? Also, I shouldn't say this because it's gonna bite me on the ass. It doesn't look like terrifying. I mean, it does look scary. I don't know what I'm saying, but it looks like it's gonna be more emotionally draining, like a Silent Hill 2. But less of the, I don't want to go through the prison sequence. No, please. God, no, please. There's going to be sequences like that. I mean, they already said the school, which it didn't look as creepy. There's a bunch of scarecrow guys, which obviously if you get near them, some of them are going to attack you, most likely. They really like the scarecrow guys, which is actually cool as like just a normal enemy. That already feels like a classic Silent Hill monster is the scarecrow. The little gremlin guy you fight with the fucked up face, I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it's tall and cool, but like it looks a little bit more generic, if I want to be honest. But I do really like the scarecrow. Anyway, so there you go. That's it. I mean, it's sounding good. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be a little bit more gamey. You know, like all right, there's no UI for the exploring, which is cool. But then he was talking about stats, and there's a focus, and there's counterattacks and stuff, which I think we saw that already in the other trailers, to be fair. And I think they talked about it in that Silent Hill transmission. But I wasn't expecting there to be, like, skills and stuff. Like, he said you could go and, like... We didn't see that. I'm assuming we'll see it closer to release. Like, I'm assuming we'll get another Silent Hill transmission. Because we still need Townfall, wherever the fuck that is. I wouldn't be surprised if they do one more, like, transmission. Nah, you know what? Maybe like a state of play. I could see like a state of play or something like that.